This conference will now be recorded.
Hello students. Now we have covered all the botany portions of 11th standard. Now we are moving to the zoology portion of 11th. So first we are starting with the animal kingdom, chapter 4 in 11th standard. So the fourth chapter, in this, for NEET aspect, you have to learn about the salient features and classification of animals. Then that is non-codate up to phyla level and codate up to classes level. And from each type or each group of these animals, you have to learn 3 to 5 salient features. That is the important features you have to learn, and with 2 examples you need to learn some important examples with related to the previous year questions. So we are going through those topics. So let's start the topics of animal kingdom. So now we are moving to animal kingdom. So animals, we know that animals means they are multicellular. Then they are heterotrophic eukaryotes. And in their body, they are exhibiting different patterns of organization, right? They have different patterns of organization. And they have several types of cells. Okay, so animals, they are heterotrophic eukaryotes and they are multicellular. They have different patterns of organization. Their body organization is different and they have several types of cells in their body. So we have classified that these animals, they have classified into several types, and this classification, their classification, on that basis of that classification, we are going to learn different types of animals in the animal kingdom. Okay, so basis of classification we'll learn now. Here what to say, there are a few fundamental common features to different animal groups, so that forms the basis of classification. So these features, which are the features we learn now, they are levels of organization. So on what and all basis, what and all features we are considering for the classification? First we will learn that levels of organization is there, then symmetry, body symmetry, that is another feature which we are considering. Then germ layers, that is one feature. Then coelom or body cavity we can say. Then segmentation, body segmentation. Then another one is respiratory system. Okay, then the circulatory system. Then excretory system. Then notochord. So based on all these features, we are considering the organism and we are doing the classification of organism. So let's see one by one. Here, the first feature we are going to consider. So these are the features which we are considering for classification. So first, levels of organization we said. So the first character, that is levels of organization. So here, this levels of organization, though all the members of the kingdom Animalia, they are multicellular, right? All the organisms are multicellular, but all of them do not exhibit the same pattern of cellular organization. All the multicellular organisms are there, but they won't show the same level of or same pattern of cellular organization. Their cellular organization pattern will be different. So different levels of organizations are discussing now. The different organization, they are cellular level of organization. Cellular level. That means cell aggregates. Cell aggregates. That cell aggregation we can find in sponges. Okay, so the level of organization, this much only you need to learn. Cellular level of organization, you can see in sponges. Then tissue level of organization. Tissue level of organization, how you can see the cells which are performing the same function, they will arrange together, or they will arrange, or they will form the tissue, the group of cells which is performing the same function. That forms the tissue. So that level of organization, that you can see in coelentrates. Coelentrates. You can see tissue level of organization. Then organ level. Organ level of organization. Organ means these tissues, they are grouped together to form the organs. So tissue level of organization means group of cells are performing the functions together, same function. Okay, so the organ level means these tissues are grouped together to form the organs, and that is found in the phylum. Which phylum? That organ level of organization found in the phylum Platyhelminthes and other higher phyla. We will learn about each phylum, then you will come to know. Phylum Platyhelminthes and higher phyla. Okay, then organ system level. See here, the developmental stage. First is the cellular level, then tissue level, organ level, then organ system level. See, organ system means association of organs that is making a function. All these organs are working together. They are associating together to perform a function. So that is working as a functional system in organ system level of organization. So these are found in annelids to echinoderms and chordates. Annelida to echinodermata. Then chordata. Okay. So this is the level of organization based on that cellular level, tissue level, organ level, and organ system level. Here where you can see this, see like cellular level that you can see in sponges. So that also you need to learn. All these are previous year questions. Okay. Next, we need to learn about the symmetry. which is another basis of classification. Another feature which we are considering for classification, symmetry. Symmetry, on the basis of symmetry, animals can be asymmetrical, radial symmetrical, bilaterally symmetrical. Okay. Radially symmetrical, bilateral symmetrical, bilateral symmetry. That also we can see. So symmetry, on the basis of symmetry, animals can be asymmetrical. That means there won't be any symmetry between the body. Like if we are dividing the body, there won't be any symmetry portions, right? So that may be asymmetrical. For example, asymmetry you can see in sponges. Okay. Then radially symmetrical, that you can see in coelentrates, ctenophores and all, and echinoderms. Radial symmetry you can see in coelenterata, ctenophore, then echinoderms. In these you can see radial symmetry, and bilateral symmetry you can see annelids and arthropod. Bilateral symmetry means you can divide into two equal halves. Both the sides will be similar. So annelida and arthropoda. In these you can see bilateral symmetry. Okay. Then another feature or the basis of classification, that is germ layers. These examples are very important. From there you are getting the questions. So all the questions which I have mentioned, like what is symmetry and where you can see the radial symmetry, bilateral symmetry and asymmetry, that questions are there in the previous year question papers. That's why I explained the same portion. Then germ layers. Germ layers means a group of cells behaving as a unit during early stage of embryonic development. Okay, what is germ layer? That is one question. The group of cells behaving as a unit. Group of cells which is behaving as a unit during the early stage of embryonic development. In the early embryonic developmental stage, you can see this. And on the basis of number of germ layers, number of germ layers, number of germ layers, on the basis of that, animals can be diploblastic, then triploblastic, diploblastic means cells arranged into two embryonic layers. Cells are arranged into two embryonic layers. For example, you can see coelenterata, coelenterata, there is diploblastic germ layers, and here in triploblastic means cells arranged in three germ layers. Triploblastic, triploblastic, three germ layers. Okay, so that is triploblastic stage. And for this example, you can say which and all phylum? Phylum Platyhelminthes to phylum Chordata. Chordata. You can see which one? Germ layers. Okay, and next you are going to learn about another basis of classification, that is coelom. which is another feature. Coelom means the body cavity. Body cavity. So here, body cavity which is lined by the mesoderm. Body cavity is lined by mesoderm. And animal classification, that is also based on the presence or absence of the coelom. Here in the animal classification, the absence or presence of coelom, that is also considered. So based on that, animals are classified into coelomates. That means the animals which are having the coelom. Animals means coelomates means with coelom. That means with body cavity. For that, examples. These examples are very, very important in this chapter, because from that portion you are getting more questions. Okay, examples. For coelomate, you need to find an example from the given options. Like that, the question will come. So annelids, they are coelomates. And annelida, then mollusca, then arthropoda, then echinoderms. All these in this you can see coelom or body cavity. Then another group is there like pseudocoelomates. In pseudocoelomate, this mesoderm does not line by the body cavity. Mesoderm, that does not line the body cavity, and it is present between ectoderm and endoderm. No lining of body cavity. And where it will be present? Between ectoderm and endoderm. Okay, so in Aschhelminthes you can see pseudocoelomate. Pseudocoelomate, for that example, Aschhelminthes. Okay, these examples are very, very, very important. Next is acoelomates. Acoelomates means animals in which body cavity is absent. No body cavity. Okay, so in this no body cavity, that is called as acoelomates. In phylum Porifera, from that to phylum Platyhelminthes, you can see acoelomate. In these and all, you cannot see any body cavity. So based on body cavity, coelomate, acoelomate, and pseudocoelomate. Okay, there are three. It's classified into three types. Okay, with example you need to learn. And next feature which we are going to consider, that is segmentation, body segmentation. So about this body segmentation, if you are saying this is the body segment, means that is a serial repetition of similar parts, right? Repetition of similar parts of animal. So along the length of the body of the animal, the same serial repetition of similar parts, that is called as segmentation. So this segmentation is of two types. Two types of segmentations are there. That is metameric segmentation and another type is pseudo segmentation. Pseudo segmentation. So this metameric segmentation means in annelids, then arthropods, then chordate, there is a linear repetition of body parts. See, each segment has the representation of each organ system. Okay, so there is a linear repetition of body parts, and there the condition, the body parts with the condition which says each segment has the representation of each organ system. So there is a repetition of segments in metameric segmentation. What about the pseudo segmentation? Pseudo segmentation or strobilization, we can say. It is otherwise called as strobilization. So in pseudo segmentation or strobilization, uh, you can say in tapeworm, right? In those things and all, similar sort of repetition is visible. But here repeated body parts, they will be different from each other, and they are called as proglottids. Okay. In which one? In pseudo segmentation. Segments will be there, but there is no repetition in the body organs, or the body parts are different from each other. There is no repeated body parts in the segments, and that is called as proglottids. Okay. So this is the segmentation details. Next basis of classification, that is respiratory system. Respiratory system. So respiratory system in animals, that respiration may be through body surface, respiration may be through body surface. For example, body surface respiration you can see in hydra. These examples are also easy, and you should remember, because like this you can easily score marks. These are previous year questions. So body surface, through body surface respiration you can see in hydra, and branchial respiration. Branchial respiration you can see in prawn. Then pulmonary respiration, that you can see in snail. Then tracheal respiration, insects. See, this options you may get for maths the following also. That time don't get confused. You should be clear about the respiratory system of each type of organism. And cutaneous respiration, that you can see in earthworm. Cutaneous, that in earthworm you can see cutaneous respiration. Clear? Then next is circulatory system. Classification based on the circulatory system. So in the circulatory system, it is open in the phylum Arthropoda. Open circulatory system you can see in Arthropoda and Mollusca. Okay, and closed circulatory system you can see in phylum Annelida and Vertebrata. Okay. Next classification, that is based on excretory system. Next is based on excretory system. See, this basis of classification, like fundamental or common features to different types or groups, which is formed based on these classification. Okay, so respiratory system we said, circulatory system we said, next is the excretory system. So excretory system, in animals you have variety of excretory organs. Okay, so many types of excretory organs, variety of excretory organs you can see in animals. Flame cells, this also match the following like that. Several times this question came based on the excretory system of different types of organism. Flame cells that you can see in liver fluke. Then intracellular tubules. Intracellular tubules, note down this because this created slight confusion. Intracellular tubules you can see in roundworms. These are the excretory systems of different types of organism. In roundworms you can see intracellular tubules. The nephridia, you can see in earthworm. Then Malpighian tubules. Malpighian tubules you can see in insects. Then antennary glands. Antennary glands you can see in crustaceans. Then kidneys that you can see in vertebrates. Okay. Next is notocode. Based on this also classified. So notocode during embryonic development, which stage you can see? Embryonic development stage. So during embryonic development stage, mesodermal cells form a rod-like structure on the dorsal surface. That is called as notocode. Mesodermal cells. Which cells? Mesodermal cells. That mesodermal cells that form rod-like structure on the dorsal surface. On the dorsal surface of body, that is called as notocode. And animals with notocode are called as chordates. Animals with notocode, they are called as chordates, and they are coming under chordata. And without notocode, they are called as non-chordates. Without notocode, they are called as non-chordates. Okay, so animals with and without notocode. With notocode, they are called as chordate. Without notocodes are called as non-chordate. Okay, now the classification or the basis of classification we have learned: level of organization, symmetry, germ layers, coelom, segmentation, respiratory system, circulatory system, excretory system, and notocode. These are the features which we are considering for classification, right? And now kingdom Animalia. In the kingdom Animalia, you have to learn about different phylums. So we'll learn one by one and the features of that. So here The animal kingdom or kingdom Animalia, another important point which came several times, kingdom Animalia. Here you can see this is classified on the basis of presence or absence of vertebral column. Presence or absence of vertebral column. On the basis of that, it is classified into invertebrates. Invertebrates means without backbone. Then second type is vertebrates. That means with backbone. Okay. Now we are not, without getting confused, we have to remember the features of each phylum we are learning about. We are going to learn about different phyla and their characteristic features, common characteristics we learn, and examples for that, everything we will learn. Okay, so let's start that. So first we will learn about phylum Porifera. So here I am mentioning the basic or important features which came in the previous year question papers. So salient features of phylum Porifera we can say that consists of primitive multicellular animals. Okay, in phylum Porifera, that includes primitive or old type primitive multicellular animals, and they have cellular grade of organization, cellular level of organization, and they are free living. Free living organism, mostly they are marine, either they are colonial or they are solitary. Both forms we can see, and their body is asymmetrical body. You can see that that lacks tissues or organs, but that is having large number of incurrent pores, which is called as ostia, which is leading into a spongocoel through the system of canals. Ostia and spongocoel. So through the system of canals, this is connected. Okay, so body is asymmetrical body, and that doesn't have tissues or organs, but that is having no tissue or organ, and that is having large number of pores, large number of incurrent pores, which is called as ostia, and these ostia that is leading into spongocoel. Ostia is leading to the spongocoel through canals, that is connected through canals. Okay, and this spongocoel opens outside by one or two large excurrent pores. The spongocoel, it is opening outside through oscula. Okay, this is large excurrent pore which is called as oscula, and these canals and spongocoel that is lined by flagellated cells which is called as choanocytes or collar cells. So all these are previous year questions. All these terms you need to learn. So the canals and spongocoel that is lined by flagellated cells, which is called as choanocytes. Okay, or we can call as collar cells. Clear? Then another point which we need to learn is sensory cells and nerve cells, that is absent. Sensory and nerve cells. These are absent in sponges. Sensory cells and nerve cells are absent in sponges and body wall with two layers. Two layers of body wall, that means what is that? Diploblastic. Okay. And here cells are loosely arranged and mesenchyma is present in between them. Okay. Here each and every point which I'm saying now, everything is important because any feature they can put as a question, right? So here body that is having an endoskeleton which is made up of spicules and that is composed of calcareous or siliceous spicules or spongin fibers. Okay, so the spicules that may be calcareous or siliceous. Okay, calcareous or maybe siliceous, the spicules. Then about the digestion, if you are saying digestion is intracellular and holozoic. Digestion in phylum Porifera, that they can ask. Digestion may be intracellular and holozoic. That is intracellular and holozoic digestion. You can see in which one? In phylum Porifera. Right. Respiration and excretion. How that is done? Respiration and excretion only by simple diffusion. Respiration and excretion by simple diffusion. Simple diffusion processes helping for excretion and respiration. And reproduction is asexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction is done. That may be external or internal buds. Then sexual methods are also there, like gemmules. They are the mass of archaeocytes. Okay. And some common characters which we can say about the Porifera, that is about their habitat, then spicules, and examples of this we can say. So common characteristic of classes of phylum Porifera, that in class Calcarea, they are having marine habit, and the spicules that is made up of calcium carbonate. Spicules you can see in that, and examples you can see cinchone and leucosolinia. These are the examples. Okay, and in class hexatinellida, in that you can see that is also having marine habitat, and that is made up of, here the spicules are made up of silica, then euplectilla and hyalonema. These are the examples. Okay, and another class is there which is called as demospongia, that may be marine or freshwater habitat it will be having, and the spicules that is made up of spongin fibers or spicules may be absent in them. Okay, and spongilla, which is a freshwater sponge, and euspongia, These are the examples for that. Okay, so that's all you have to learn about phylum Porifera. Minimum this you should learn. Almost all the points are there, so you have to learn at least this much about phylum Porifera. Okay, next is about phylum Coelenterata. Second phylum Coelenterata. Here, phylum Coelenterata, the salient features which we need to say, that is composed of radially symmetrical. Symmetry is radially symmetrical, and that is diploblastic multicellular animals, and they have tissue grade of organization. Okay, they are diploblastic multicellular animals which is having tissue grade of organization, and that is composed of radially symmetrical organisms. Okay, and members of this phylum Coelenterata, they are freshwater or they may be marine. Freshwater or marine forms are there. Then solitary or colonial forms. Solitary or colonial forms are available or they are there, and that may be free swimming or they may be sedentary. Free swimming or sedentary forms are there. Okay, and their body in phylum Coelenterata, in their body, that is having a mouth at the oral end. And this mouth, that will lead to a spacious cavity which is called as, mouth is leading to a spacious cavity which is called as gastrovascular cavity or coelenterone. That's why the Coelenterata name they got, gastrovascular cavity or coelenterone. Coelenterone or gastrovascular cavity. So body has, it is having a mouth at the oral end, and this is leading to the spacious cavity which is called as gastrovascular cavity or the coelenterone. And here next point which we need to mention, that is the presence of long hollow structure. A long hollow structure will be there which is called as tentacles. Long hollow structure which is called as tentacles, and this is used for locomotion and food capturing. These tentacles are used for locomotion and food capturing. Okay, so these are the other important points. Locomotory organs, that is tentacle, and it is also used for food capturing. Then about the epidermis, if you are saying, the epidermis consists of epitheliomuscular cells. Epidermis, that consists of epitheliomuscular cells. Then nidoblast, interstitial cells, This interstitial cells, they are totipotent cells, and then nerve cells, then sensory cells. So the epidermis consists of epitheliomuscular cells, interstitial cells, nidoblasts, sensory cells, and nerve cells. In this, interstitial cells are totipotent cells. Okay. Then we said about nidoblast, which is a peculiar type of cells which is called as nidoblast. Then nematocyst, which is the stinging cells in the ectoderm. So especially in the tentacles, and this is used for this nidoblast and nematocyst. This is the stinging cells. And from name itself, it's clear it is used for offense and defense, right? Then about their digestion. If you're saying about the digestion, here you can see the digestion is both intracellular and extracellular. Digestion. Digestion in Coelenterata, extracellular and intracellular. Digestion we can see. And respiration and excretion, that is by respiration and excretion, that is by simple diffusion. Simple diffusion, that makes the excretion and respiration. Then the network of nerves that will be spread all over the body. Nerve network will be there all over the body. Then many forms that are exhibiting polymorphism. Many forms are exhibiting polymorphism. Okay, and different types of individuals which are present in a colony for different functions. So these individuals are called as zooids. Okay, and reproduction, when we are saying about, that is the one important point we need to mention in each one. So reproduction, that may be either sexual reproduction or asexual reproduction. And the asexual reproduction means that is external budding. Which one? Asexual reproduction. Sexual reproduction means gametes, by formation of gametes. Okay. Then another important point we need to say about metagenesis. Metagenesis in Coelenterata, metagenesis means the alternation of two phases. Alternation of two phases. What is that? That means polyploid and medusoid phase. Polypoid and medusoid. Polyp and medusa, we'll say. Like that, two phases you can see. For example, the life cycle of obelia. You can see in obelia life cycle, you can see this polyp and medusa form. Okay. And the characteristic features of these classes of phylum Coelenterata, that habitat, like in the previous one we said, in class Hydrozoa, class Scyphozoa, and class Anthozoa. Okay, in all these, habitat we need to mention first. Habitat in hydrozoa, that may be freshwater or marine. Okay, and in scyphozoa, that is marine water, and in anthozoa, habitat is marine water. Okay, these questions also came. And body form, the characteristic feature, the body form, if you are considering body form, that may be in hydrozoa polyp or medusa. In class Scyphozoa you can see only medusa, and in Anthozoa only polyp form you can see. Okay, then the examples, we need to learn examples, because most of the time you will get the question in the name of example. In hydra we can see which type of habitat you can see, that may be freshwater or medusa, or body form polypoid or medusoid, which one you can see. So such questions will come. So example, you should know in which class it is belonging to. In the phylum of Coelenterata, different classes like Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, and Anthozoa, like that classes are coming. And each under each class, Hydra, it is belonging to Hydrozoa. Then Aurelia, which is belonging to Scyphozoa. Like that, you should have an idea. So Hydra, Obelia, Physalia, all these are the examples for class Hydrozoa. Hydra, Obelia, and Physalia. Okay, all these are coming under class Hydrozoa of phylum Coelenterata. Okay, we are learning about phylum Coelenterata. And under that, these classes, class Hydrozoa, example Hydra, Obelia, and Physalia. Next class, which is Scyphozoa, which is coming under phylum Coelenterata. In that, their habitat is marine, and you can see medusoid form. And examples now we are saying Aurelia and Cassiopeia. Aurelia, Cassiopeia. Okay, these are the examples. Cassiopeia is the jellyfish, and here Physalia we said that is otherwise called as Portuguese man of war. Okay, and next class under phylum Coelenterata, that is class Anthozoa, which is having marine habitat, and the form which you can see, that is polypoid form. Then examples, that is sea anemone, corals, then fungia, gorgonia. All these are the examples. Gorgonia is otherwise called as sea fan. Okay, these are the examples for class Anthozoa. Okay, so we have learned about kingdom. Now we are learning about kingdom Animalia. Under the different phylums, we are learning phylum Porifera, the features we have learned, and the classes which are coming under phylum Porifera, that is Calcarea, Hexactinellida, and Demospongiae. These are the classes. And phylum Coelenterata, we have learned about different features and the characteristics of class of phylum Coelenterata. That's what we have learned now. Like about habitat, body form, examples we have learned. Different classes, Hydrozoa, Scyphozoa, and Anthozoa. These are the classes which are coming under phylum Coelenterata. Okay. So we have learned about two phylums, And the remaining phylums we'll be learning in the next class. Next class we'll be learning about xylem Ctenophora, then xylem Platyhelminthes, phylum Aschelminthes, phylum Annelida, Mollusca, Arthropoda, Echinodermata, Hemichordata. About all these phylums we need to learn. Okay, that we'll learn in the next class. Thank you.